Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry about my mad hair and slightly disheveled appearance. I've literally just got back in from the school run, and this morning we had our first proper sprinkling of snow where it was actually quite thick, which is super exciting. I love the snow, but it did mean that getting there and back from school was a little bit trickier. But I'm home and I'm absolutely freezing, so I'm just about to pop the kettle on. My idea this morning was to have yogurt and berries, and that's what I decided I was having last night. However, in light of the snow, I feel like after that really cold morning walk, I'm in need of some porridge. So yeah, porridge for the win, and I'm gonna put some like festive toppings on top because I feel like in the snow, I feel like doing things like this, it just makes me happy. So that's the plan. For lunch, I'm not too sure. I have some sourdough out that is defrosting. I have some cheese, some tomatoes, some onions. I think a nice sandwich might be a good idea, especially for this weather, like grilled cheese, fried onion melt. It's gonna be delicious. And for dinner tonight, oh my goodness guys, I am making one of my favorite things to eat that I literally make about once a year. It is such a treat. It's so fantastic, aromatic and flavorful, and we're going to be making a chicken biryani. I don't cook it very often because it's quite time consuming, but it's perfect for batch cooking, perfect if you have an occasion, or perfect if you want a fake away. It's absolutely delicious, and today my plan is to cook a lot of it so I can get some portions in the freezer as well. I hope you'll enjoy it. I will link the shirt that I'm wearing in the description box down below. It's one by Strawberry. I've been loving that brand recently. My jeans I will also link, and makeup is very minimal, but I will link everything I can. So I'm going to tie this mop up because it is absolutely massive and I feel like it needs taming a little bit, and the only way to do that is to really just get it up and out of my face. So yeah, porridge time. Hope you enjoy it. Subscribe if you're new, give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to click on the bell so you don't miss any videos, and let's go on the day. My porridge is out of the microwave and it is at the consistency that I would like, which is in between thick and quite creamy. So you get that to the consistency that is preferable to you. So now I'm going to talk about toppings. I love my Biscoff. I haven't had it actually in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to have a little bit of that. I always track my Biscoff just because it's not the best in regards to point value. I only use 1 teaspoon, which is still 2 points. So that plus the ready break is 5 points, which I don't mind too much, to be quite honest. But also, you know, I'm not actively trying to lose weight. If I was, I would be way more specific and I'd be weighing it out. Because again, I'm not trying to lose weight and I'm not being as strict, I'm not going to track my demerara sugar, which obviously is sugar. You can track that if you should want to. Just type in demerara sugar, what a teaspoon will constitute, and make sure you track that. And I'm also not going to be tracking my festive fruit and nuts, just because again, for the same reason, but feel free to be more accurate about things, guys. This is just how it works for me since maintenance. And I'm just going to sprinkle some demerara sugar. Again, this constitutes to about a teaspoon. I also have some blueberries that I've just washed. I'm going to add those, and then a nice sprinkling of this bag, which is predominantly festive fruit and nuts. It just gives a nice pop of colour. Berries in here that are delicious. Ooh, so that is that. And that is my porridge, and it looks absolutely delicious. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. If I may. So my friend has just left. We had a bit of a catch up this morning, so now I'm just about to rustle myself up some lunch. I don't have a ton of time, but I did mention before that because of the weather I would like some kind of cheese sandwich. So I have this gorgeous sourdough bread that I defrosted last night. It's actually nice and soft, so I'm going to cut some of that and we'll weigh it out together. Of course, a cheese sandwich requires some kind of cheese. I'm using the Cathedral City Mature, and this is the light version. Feel free to use whatever cheese you would like. I also have some salad tomatoes from Tesco, red onion that I'm going to fry off because I think cheese and onion is just a combination you cannot beat. And instead of using the regular butter, I'm going to be a bit extra and use this garlic infused butter from Depop because I think again it's going to add a bit of flavour. So the onions are sat frying, and this step is completely optional, but I have some Dijon mustard here, and I'm just going to get my pastry brush, dip it in a little bit, and I'm just going to baste the onion with a tiny bit of Dijon mustard. I think it just adds a really lovely flavour. Again, feel free to skip this out, but I think that cheese and mustard go together really well, especially when you're combining it with onion. You can see my onions have been caramelized, and I'm going to do the same thing with my tomato. You could just do this in the grill, to be quite honest with you. Tomato cooks really nicely on the grill, but I feel like if you can fry your veggies up a little bit or roast them and things like that, you do invest a lot of flavour there. It just adds something completely different. I feel like one tomato is definitely going to be enough for me. I'm going to pop these into that same pan. While the tomatoes are softening, I'm going to start cutting off my cheese. So this is actually 50 grams worth of cheese, which is more than I would normally have, to be quite honest, but I feel like I don't really mind too much. It's a cheese sandwich at the end of the day. You can't really have a cheese sandwich without having a significant amount of cheese, in my opinion, because, you know, go big or go home. But if you wanted to use less or more, feel free to do that. 50 grams on the WW app is around 5 points for the cheese, so if you factor in that 5 points and then the bread, you know, the rest of it is completely free unless you want to factor in your oil. Of course, you guys know I don't do that. It's still not too bad. So we have all of our components here. We have our bread, we have our cheese here, we have our fried onion, and we have our tomato as well, all of which, by the way, are smelling incredible. And all I'm going to do now is cut off the portion of sourdough that I would like, and then I will weigh it out. 9 times out of 10 you will get a side like this, which is a bit hard, ideal for dipping in a ragu, ideal for scrambled eggs and that kind of thing. But also, a thing I like to do with these cut-offs, especially if you leave them to the end and they get quite hard, is I cube them and I use them as croutons for vegetable soup or chicken soup or something like that. They're amazing. So to make my life a little bit easier, instead of using a knife to spread this garlic butter, I'm going to use a silicone brush, because I just kind of feel a bit like a knife is going to drag things around. It's not going to be as easy. This is just going to push with the bristles all of that gorgeous flavour right into the centre of the bread. So what I'm going to do is, this is all a bit of a layering act, and feel free to do this as you would like, but I like to do a layer of onion on the bottom, which again is going to infuse with that garlic. It's going to be absolutely delicious. And then I like to do a layer of cheese and then a layer of tomato on top, and then I just repeat until I've run out of everything. I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you night and day, if I may. I'd like to. I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you. You can have a regular cheese and onion sandwich, no worries. Grate a bit of onion, grate a bit of cheddar, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. But I think you'll agree, this looks a little bit more special, and if you have that time to just take a little bit more care and prep, it just looks immense. So I'm going to go and enjoy that now with a Coke Zero, and then we will get on with the prep for dinner, which is actually going to take a bit of time. So I'll check back with you guys in a bit. That sandwich, guys, no exaggeration, was just flipping wonderful, to be quite honest. I had both slices. You could very easily just have had one of those. They were very filling, but no, not for me. I had both and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You could have put some Perrin sauce on there or HP and it would have been mega. But now, even though I'm full and I cannot even think about eating anything more, I need to start the prep for this biryani, because with biryani, a lot of it is in the prep, in the time, in the marinating. So I'm going to start off now, and I thought I would go through all of these ingredients with you guys, because there is a lot here to talk about. So the first thing is, I'm going to be cooking my biryani with ghee. Feel free to use a calorie controlled spray. Feel free to use olive oil or butter, whatever you would like. Just make sure you're tracking it accordingly. I'm going to also be using a combination of skinless chicken breast, which is of course a zero hero, but I'm also going to be using some chicken thigh and chicken leg with the skin on, because I think it invests a lot of flavour into the biryani. Again, feel free to do whatever you would like. I mean, if you want to use skinless chicken breast, of course that is going to be better for you in regards to point value, but I think if you can at least cook with a bit of bone and a bit of skin in there, even if you don't eat those pieces and you just use it for the stock and let the kids or your husband or wife or partner or whatever have those bits, You're going to invest a lot of flavour in the actual bulk of your dish, so do that if you can. You're also going to need some ginger, so I have some fresh ginger here. I'll put the recipe in the description box, guys. This is just one that I've kind of made up. I have 2 onions here, really decent sized onions, really important. I'm going to be using 4 cloves of garlic. I might even use 5 if you know, they want to be decent sized cloves because it's a very important component of the dish. You're going to need 4 decent sized tomatoes as well, a red or green chilli, doesn't matter which. If you're cooking this for children, it does mellow out, it's not too spicy at all, but if you want to skip this step, feel free to do so. I also have some toasted almonds. I'm going to be using those at the end, so you don't need to concern yourself with those just yet, but they're a lovely sprinkling for the top, and they add a nice texture and again a nice flavour. I'm going to wash some spinach, we're going to be using that. I have some fresh coriander as well, which I'm going to be using, some Greek yoghurt. Feel free to use full fat, half fat, whatever you would like. Again, just make sure you're pointing it. And then you have the spice blend. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my spice blend sorted out, because that's what this is going to sit in with the meat and marinade. So I feel like it's really smart to get this done ahead of time so that it can all infuse. You don't have to be amazingly precious about this. I would say at least a teaspoon of each, if not a tablespoon if you're batch cooking like I am and you're making a larger quantity. But when it comes to like the dried turmeric, the coriander, and the garam masala, you want to make sure that that's all mixed in with the yogurt straight away ahead of time. I'm then going to add a bit of salt and pepper. Feel free to use coarse, pink Himalayan, whatever you would like. Okay, so I've done my spice blend. That's all sat in the bottom of this bowl, and now I'm going to add my yogurt, and then once that is done, it will make a kind of paste, and that is what the chicken is going to sit and marinate in. I'm just going to mix this all in and let it all infuse together and become one marinade. I like to. So to start with, I've got my big cast iron pot out. I think if you could use a cast iron, it's going to be great because this is going to be cooked on the hob and in the oven. So if you can use a cast iron, everything is in one pot. It's going to add a lot of flavour and you're not transferring things or losing intensity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this onto the heat, get some ghee in here warming up, and then I'm going to chop my onions, my garlic and my ginger. Every day I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. If I may, if I may. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you night and day, if I may. So as you can see, this has begun to soften and everything has kind of reduced down now. So what I'm going to do is add all of this to another bowl so I can cook the chicken straight in this, and again then I will merge them together a bit later on. I'm feeling super productive and I've pretty much done all the prep that I need to do for now. So again, that chicken is sat marinating, those veg have been taken out and transferred to a different bowl. So now my plan is to head out, go and get Layla. It's just started snowing again. So hopefully by the time I get back, I will be ready well and truly for a warm drink, a warm coffee. I feel like I definitely will have a little bit of chocolate. Not too sure yet. Or I might even have some berries actually, because I have some berries in the fridge that need eating. Actually, yeah, that's probably what I will do because I need to eat those. And have my coffee, and then we'll get on with the prep for dinner, like the last bit, which is basically going to be cooking that chicken off, then putting it all together, adding the stock, adding the spinach, and then once the rice has been cooked, we add it all together completely and then pop it in the oven for an hour and forget about it. It's going to be delicious. I cannot wait. But before that, the school run, the dreaded snowy school run. I actually don't mind because it's an opportunity for me to get out, get some fresh air and get some exercise. So yeah, I'll head out, head back, have my coffee, and then we'll get on with the rest of the day. So I've just got back from the school run, I've come straight home, got my comfies on. Honestly guys, these jogging bottoms are the softest. I'll link them in the description box in case you're interested. They're by New Look, and I have 3 pairs and I love them all. So you might have guessed this already, but I'm going to be having one of my Nescafe sachets. I will link these down below. I get them all the time from Amazon Prime. And again, they're really whippy, really creamy and frothy, and you don't have to own an espresso machine, which is ideal. I like to. So the chicken has been marinating now for at least 3 hours. Preferably I would have had this done overnight, but to be quite honest, I didn't think about it. Normally I do, but in this case I haven't. But a lot of flavour, a lot of scent. So what I have now is the same cast iron pan on the heat. I took all of the veggies out, which I showed you guys before. They're sat comfortably in this bowl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the chicken in, cook it off a little bit, brown it, get a nice caramel going on, and then I'm going to put some stock in there, the spinach, put the rest of the veg back in, and then it's going straight in the oven and it will finish the majority of its cooking time there. So the rice is done. It's been infused with all of those spices and flavours. So now I'm going to get this lid off, combine them, and then pop it in the oven for the rest of the cooking time. So guys, as you can see, it is well and truly the morning after. As I mentioned, last night I had friends over for dinner, so it didn't feel right to kind of bust the camera out, and by the time I realised it was way late, so I thought I would end the video today. But honestly, that biryani is a must try. It's 13 points a serving, and that serving that I made is a 10-person portion, which is huge, and it goes such a long way, especially considering that you only need between 750 to 1 kilogram of chicken to do a portion that size. But obviously you can adjust that accordingly. If you only want to use 500 grams worth of chicken or whatever, just don't use as much rice, but everything else I would keep exactly the same. But yeah, we absolutely loved it. I'm gonna put my recipe in the description box down below. It's one of my own. I kind of tweak things here and there and I make things up, but the foundations of those herbs and spices are generally quite generic, and you will find them very common amongst other biryanis for sure. But I would say mine definitely had a more Middle Eastern take, so not as spicy, but a lot of flavour, a lot of aromatics going on, but not any scent of, you know, like a curried flavour, because I didn't put any curry powder in it or anything like that. So I would definitely say it was more of a Middle Eastern take on things, very similar to like a magluba dish, if you are aware of what that is. But anyway, I loved it. I hope you can all go on and try it. It's very simple. It's one where a lot of the prep can be done way in advance, and then you just pop it in the oven and it takes care of itself. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I actually think I might have had 2 to roll over from yesterday, but I also had a flatbread, so actually I might have actually gone over by 1. So that's great. Absolutely fine by me for such an epic dish, and the rest of it is squirreled away into the freezer, which I'm very happy about. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you loved it as much as I did. I'll link this hoodie down below because I know I'll get questions from it. It's And Other Stories. I adore it. I really love it. It's so snuggly and massive, and underneath it I'm wearing my monkey top as usual and my black jeans from New Look, but I will link everything I think you might be interested in. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, click on the bell so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!